turn it on. Okay, so let me start off with the news everybody's waiting for. The budget does not project any tax increase. So let's get that out of the way right off the bat.
Thank God.
In my transmittal, I talked about a few things, and I just kind of want to recap. On the revenue side, we have taxes and fees of, and I'm going to round a little bit, just for brevity, $843,000. License permits and fines of $138,500. Interest and rentals of just $56. Federal, state, and local revenues, those are grants and subsidies and other monies that we receive, mostly through the state, on an annual basis, of $625,000. Departmental earnings, which includes all the fees for sewage, water, sanitation, solid waste collection, any of those kinds of, along with police reports and any of those kind of things. $1,438,000, and other revenues of $23,650. Those are mostly just miscellaneous things like maybe transfers between funds or something like that. For total revenues of $3,068,056. Some of the what I felt were significant changes in just reviewing the information I have. As I said, there's no proposed increase in the current tax millage, nor any fee increases. We increased the tax collection rate for budgeting purposes by 2% to 87%, which came out to another $38,000. It looks like the current year's collections are coming in at a higher rate than budgeted in the past year, so I thought that was justified. At some point, the delinquent tax collections will go down because you're collecting more current collections, but there is $371,000 in grant revenues projected for 2019. All of these are in the general fund. Most are balances from projects already started in the current or prior years, and will be being finished out in 2019. I also noted that consolidated revenues are down in both the general fund and the highway aid fund because of the decrease in grant funding. Just because there aren't any projects, not because there weren't any grants available, there just weren't any projects that were on the board. And then there is a transfer between the general fund to the public utility fund, where the general fund borrowed some monies for a grant match that they didn't have at the time in the general fund. So that'll go back. What's not included is revenues for a gas well agreement. They haven't received, the borough has not received the notification up until this point. On the revenue side, on the expenditure side, general government, which is all the general administration in the office and things like that, $275,000. Public safety, police, fire, and any other emergency work or anything, $550,000. Public works is $1,604,000. And that does include both the streets and the waterworks, the water treatment plant, and any general work done by the Public Works Department. Separate are public facilities for another $13,000, and that has to do with the multimodal transportation project. Recreation and culture, which covers any funding for, obviously, recreation and culture, of $80,500, and that also includes the tax levy that goes to the library. Community development of $44,000 specifically for community development things. Debt service expense is at $20,000, having to do with the annual payment only, not the total debt service. And other expenses, which includes some of the debt service, just because of where things are at the moment, of $329,000. Total expenditures are $2,930,000 and $930,621. On the expenditure side, some of the changes, staffing is pretty much the same with few exceptions. The healthcare benefits decreased by 4.2% for the same coverage for all covered employees. So that certainly saves some money in the budget. I talked about the offsetting transfer from the general fund to the public utility, so it's revenue on public utility and an expenditure on the general fund side. There's also cash purchase or lease for 1 new police car and 3 new public works vehicles to be used for streets and water treatment plant purposes. We also use $55,000 currently in the highway aid fund to balance that particular fund. I do have a schedule of the budget broken down by funds. So the general fund indicates a surplus of $7,831. The street lighting fund, which is a special tax levy, shows a surplus of $285. The fire protection, library, and pension funds are all a break-even point, so there's zero balance on those. And those are all the tax levies. The public utility fund shows a surplus for the year of $124,521. That surplus can be used for any future improvements to the public utility, to the water treatment plant, or any unforeseen water breaks and things like that. So it's always good to have a surplus. The landfill fund has a zero net effect, and the highway aid fund ends up with $4,799 in surplus. I wanted to thank everyone that really helped formulate the budget, because it wasn't a solo effort on my part. I tried to get the departmental supervisors or the police chief, whoever, everybody involved, so that we would have a good understanding of what their needs are. That doesn't mean they get to have everything they want, but at least we know what they need, and then we have to work within the budgeting for that. Carol obviously was a very big help. Lisa was in the office answering questions constantly, because she has a better history of the borough than I do. And I know some of the other council members were also, Carol was talking to them, getting input from them. So I think unless somebody has a question, that would be the end of my presentation.